And hello, happy Friday night scrapping. And I hope you are ready to have some fun tonight because I have a layout for you. And as my thumbnail suggested, we are going to test a sketch tonight and not only kind of take a look at how we can use sketches in our scrapping, but also how we can modify a sketch so that it works for our layout. So I'm really happy to share this with you tonight. I'm going to do a little different setup. Going to try and just jump right into the layout tonight. And if you have questions, I will be checking the chat along the way. So be sure you put that Q in there so I can find your questions as we're rolling along. And I just want to say a great big hello, and welcome to all of you who are joining in the fun tonight. So if you are interested in finding out the latest releases and what's coming on Monday, I am going to have you jump over to my Facebook page where I just added a post for all the new things that are going to be releasing on Monday. And the secret boxes are coming back this month. There's a lot of good stuff coming in May, as well as some restock items. So if you're interested in some of those Creative Memories products and seeing something new, make sure you take a peek at my Facebook page. That's Craft Some Joy with Lauren. So let me just show you where those pages are. And also, if you want to get notified when I have new posts and different things, make sure you follow me on my Facebook page. That's where I do most of my event scheduling and where you can keep up with what's new. All right, friends, so let's jump in tonight and take a look at what we are going to do in our happy scrappy time together. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that we are going to be working with the CM Virtual Crop, and these are the February sketches. So if you have figured out, I've shared, I believe, a few times how you can go to the blog and then just grab these sketches and download them and print them. But if you're interested in, learning more about that, just let me know in the comments. But it's pretty easy if you just go to the blog on the Creative Memories website, and you can put in the search bar virtual crop sketches, and then all the sketches from all the different months will come up. So yeah, that is a quick, easy way to get to these sketches. But what we're going to do tonight is actually look at this challenge number 3. And I like a lot of photos when I create a layout. And so when I see a sketch that said, oh gosh, there's a lot of photos on there, that kind of sparks my interest. And I'm going to, instead of just showing you how this sketch was created with a different collection, we're going to just jump in and kind of keep it neutral. Just take a look at the components of this sketch and let's see how we can do that. Okay, so so if you want this sketch, again, all you need to do is go to the CM blog and download the sketch. Now, also, if you are interested in what I'm doing tonight, I will create a blog post that will where I will share my finished layouts, and you will be able to see that on my website on a blog, and I will also link to this sketch. And in fact, we may make a few little modifications to the sketch, so stay tuned for that. So tonight I have just so many fun things I want to share with you. I have been doing some behind the scenes creating and, just kind of thinking about some ways to just have fun on our scrapbook pages. Now, before we jump into today's layout, I also just want to bring up the last Friday layout. And as you can see, my layout looks a lot different than where I finished my live stream. And if you want to see some close-ups of these pages, you can also find those on my website as well. Whoops, hold on. I'm trying to, it seems like this is a little bright. How's that? I think that's a little better. Okay. And what I ended up doing is during that live stream, we were talking about creating a focal point. And that was one of the 10 top design tips that I had for you, which is creating a focal point, picking out one picture that, you know, really says it all, or a title that says it all. And what was happening is I love this summer collection and I love the colors, and it matched so well with my cousin's dress, and all the different colors just made me, you know, it was summertime. It was just perfect, but the embellishments weren't working. And so I started thinking a little bit more about embellishing our pages and not getting stuck with just what we're given in a collection, but also expanding that and thinking outside of the box for, you know, how we can do things and actually create our own embellishments for one, or create a different feel for a collection just by going a little something different. So I ended up creating some die cut flowers, which I'm actually really in love with these flowers. They're, I don't know, what would you guys call them? Norwegian kind of looking flowers, or I don't know. They're stitched and they're textured, and I love them. And so I went back to the layout, kind of reorganized it, and then added these flowers and a really fun title so that I could tell the story of this reunion that we kind of had to celebrate my Aunt Sue. So what I wanted to do, one reason I wanted to come back to this layout is because today we are actually going to create the next 2 pages. And because I wanted to keep the same feel, so this will probably end up having 3 2-page layouts from this trip and celebration, because I don't get to see my family very much, my Southern family. But I wanted to continue the colors and the theme. So what we're going to do is actually take more of the summer collection, and this is the Summer Break. If you're wondering which collection I am digging into, it's Summer Break. This collection has this beautiful, just baby blue paper. It's got the polka dots. It's got a little touch of red in it, and the colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this collection and transform it into a birthday layout. So not even just, this was a winery where we were getting together, but now let's take a look at how we can transform this into a birthday layout. So yes, I'm going rogue, Shirley. So that's what we're going to do. And I have this fun little thing we're going to do together. I'm going to teach you a new trick. And when you get to do that, when I show you how you can actually we're going to do some DIY embellishing. This is going to open up a whole new idea, a whole new, kind of way of thinking about your paper and collections. And it's going to be really fun. So when we have like a birthday collection, like we have this, let's see, it is the Birthday Jubilee. This is a beautiful collection. I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling this for my Aunt Sue. And so what I'm doing, going rogue, and we're going to kind of reimagine other collections for birthdays. Now think of the possibilities. So then if you have, you know, a man's birthday or more of a masculine birthday, we can do the same thing. We can just basically kind of use papers that we like and then transform them into, you know, to do what we want to do with our collection. Now we're going to follow along this sketch for a little bit, but as we're going through, you're going to see kind of how I'm thinking about the layout. So let's flip the page and we are going to start, and I'm going to share the papers that I've already picked out for this layout. And we're going to do a bunch of stuff. So we're going to look at the Summer Fun papers. We're going to do some border punching. I'm going to use the Stacked Presents Border Maker cartridge. And we're going to do my layering technique with that. So we'll talk about that. But all along, we're kind of going to just try to follow along this sketch. Okay, so first what and so when I was printing photos, I should say this, when I was printing photos, I was paying attention. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horizontal photos and 1, 2, 3 vertical photos. And it just so happened I had some of those. I actually even had an extra. And so one of these is going to be with my journaling in a peekaboo pocket. So these are my photos. I'm going to take those out of my photo folder and have those handy. And then the paper that I'm going to use, I'm still stuck on this light blue, and the print on this just says good times, which is perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, pool parties, whatever. It's just good times, right? So that works really well. And then the background, kind of the more of a neutral, I'm going to use this polka dot because this just says birthday to me. And then I'm going to accent with these two papers, and I'll show you how I'm going to use these two to kind of mix in to the palette. So these are the 4 papers that I'm going to use to create the layout today. All right. Now, the first thing, this is a super easy cut to do for our layout. One thing though, what I want to share is the first cut. We're going to do a 7/5 cut, so a 7-inch and a 5-inch cut. And when you do that, you're going to actually end up with, if this is the 7, you're going to end up with 5 inches over here, and if this is the 5, you're going to end up with 7 inches over here. It's a really popular cut for your base, kind of what we call our base pages, because you can put 4x4s here and 4x6s or 6x4s here, 4x6s, portrait and landscape. And so then the other paper, according to the sketch, it was going to be a full 12-inch fill. Okay, so like we were going to take this and fill it in. But I already decided like that was just too much for me. I wanted a little breathing room. And so the first modification I made to the sketch is to bring this outside piece down, and I'm going to cut 2 inches off so that I'll have an inch on the top and an inch on the bottom. Okay, so you can just see how I'll do that. So for the good times, I'm turning it sideways so that I can just have that 2-inch cut off. And I'm doing it now so that I can save that nice 2-inch piece of paper for later in the collection. So that has a nice green background to it. And then I'm going to do the 7/5 cut here. And this, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to leave it at the 5. And then we know we have 7. And then the same for this paper. We're going to cut 5. Okay. and then we have our 7. So can you see how really easy that is for the base? I mean, really, that's it. You have a 7-5 here and a 5-7 over here. But I hope you can see already how that inch on the top and bottom has kind of left a little breathing room rather than just big blocks of paper. Not that that's perfectly fine too. I just wanted to, you know, change things up according, you know, for my photos. So now what I want to do is actually put some photos down so that I can show you. Wait a second. So this is going to go here, and then this is going to be my peekaboo pocket. Okay, so look at that great picture of all the family that came to celebrate my Aunt Sue. And it's so timely. I don't know. I just was really drawn to do these photos, and I just heard that Sue is actually, she is fighting dementia, and she just went into hospice. So seeing her smiling face just really makes me happy to do these photos. And that's, you know, isn't that one of the reasons we do this, friends, is just to remember to, you know, bring us back to this moment in time where we just were enjoying ourselves. So I have this beautiful picture when they were lighting the cake for her. And then I have some really fun pictures of my cousins, and then I just went all out and just me and Sue. I just wanted those photos to be in here. So now that I have the pictures down, you can see that according to the sketch, these are actually trimmed down a little bit into 3.5 by 6 inches, 3.5 by 6 inches. And the reason that is so that, again, there's a little breathing room between the photos, according to the sketch. And this one is actually 3.5 by 5.5. So I went ahead and printed this photo over here a little smaller and left a white border. So I may just trim this down and leave just a small white border on that and use it over here. Okay, and so then you can see we've got kind of these indicators for border strips or for paper or some kind of a decoration along these intersections, right, between the two different papers. And so what I want to do on one side is build a fun present border. And isn't it great that this is a vertical border, which is super fun. Oh, and then on this one, we're actually going to trim these photos down as well. And then on this side, what I want to do is add in some of this red gingham. And I just love this red gingham. And so instead of doing a border, I'm actually going to do just a little layer like that. So you can kind of see how that red just gives a nice separation between these two papers. So for this, instead of doing kind of that border treatment or a sticker or something like that, I'm going to use this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 1 inch for the gingham, and I may not use that full inch. I may just kind of tuck that in there. But we're going to have a nice bright red. Whoops. I just took everything with me there. Nice bright red backing there, and so that can have a nice separation between these two papers. Okay, so the second modification I've made is I've added this little 1 inch. We're probably only going to kind of show about 3/4 of an inch little strip in here. Now, the reason I didn't bring this down again is because we already have these 4 by 6 photos. So let's go ahead, grab our photo trimmer, and take some of these photos down just a little bit. Sorry, I'm running out of room here already. Okay, and so this is going to, I'm just going to take a 1/4 inch off of here. And then sometimes what I'll do is then, you know, the sketch suggests a 1/4 inch off of all the photos, but this photo is so perfect. I kind of don't want to take any off of this photo. This is my favorite. This would be my focal photo, one of my focal photos. I mean, there's kind of a lot in here. So what I'm going to do is take some off of these other photos and then see if that gives me enough of the breathing room that I'm looking for here. So I've got that is looking good. I think I'm going to just take a little more off. And then have this one as well. There's a lot in the background that we don't really need on these photos. So another formula then, so that this works with my photos and how I want to highlight certain things. So these are now how did these end up? 3.5. These are 3.5 by 6, these two, but I left this as a 4 by 6 because, like I said, I want to keep that kind of the star of the show. Okay, so, but now kind of just trimming these down, I have created some more space and some more, a little more air or boundaries within my photos, so they're not just on top of each other. Okay, and so I'm liking that. Now let's do the same over here. We're gonna trim off all this dead space up here. And instead of I'm gonna trim this to 5 because that works for my photo. And now I've got this nice kind of full 4 by 6, and then this is now a 4 by 5 down here. And then these I'm going to leave as is because they fit really nicely here. And I do want to use a peekaboo pocket to get my journaling in, Sherry. We're going to have a little side joke about that, right, Sherry? Where's your journaling going to go, Lauren? And then on this one, I'm going to just trim some of this white space down. So let me get this and trim this photo down. So you can see already I'm kind of just modifying that sketch so that it works for my layout, my photos, and kind of the paper and things that I want to do. And I see I did not cut that very evenly. So I think we're just going to go back in and trim that. I may have to just, if I want to back this, I didn't cut that very, very straight. So we're just going to trim all that white off. I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay because we can just roll with it, right? And I can put a white background on that photo with white cardstock. Okay, so there's kind of the base, and already I like all the pieces and how it's all kind of coming together. So pretty quick and easy, right? This is such a fun, easy layout, but what makes it even more fun are the little details. So let's talk details. And the first thing what we're going to do is one of my favorite techniques for layering BMCs. And so what I'm going to do is I've already punched one, and I'm going to punch another piece of white cardstock. I have that. It's just a scrap over here. It's kind of a 12-inch scrap. And I'm going to pop that into my paper holder. And then I'm just going to cut another strip of presents. There we go. And so now we have 2 of those. And now I am going to add that other accent color, which is this yellow. And we're going to punch this with the presents cartridge as well. Now, if you wanted to save your pattern paper, you could always choose to use canary or, you know, a different solid color if you wanted to do that. But I liked the pattern on this paper. It's a really nice, soft yellow that I think goes really well with the layers. Okay, so now we have 3 layers, and the reason I do that is, for one, it gives a little texture, a little dimension to your border strip. Okay, so I have the paper color, the top layer, and then I just have 2 layers of white. You could also use, any color, right? Any scrap paper you have, because really you're not going to see it. So what we're going to do is actually just stack these and stick them together. Okay, so I am going to get my adhesive. I'm using Repo because sometimes it's a little tricky getting these stacked right on top. Oh, and I should mention, I know so many of you were so patient waiting for my jumbo refills to come in, and all those orders finally went out today. So I'm very excited. You will have that very soon. So now that I have that, I'm going to add, I've got the 2 white layers, and now I'm going to add my yellow layer. Again, just right on top. And I've done this so many times with you guys. You know this trick by now, I'm sure. And it just gives such a nice weight to your paper. Get that down. And so it just doesn't feel flimsy anymore when you go to put that down on your page. I have a little bubble in it. Let me see if I can straighten that out. Again, the reason we use Repo. Here we go. Okay. It's just not wanting to stick right there. Okay. There we go. A little more right here. Okay. So now I'm going to flip that over. Actually, we need to put our base layer together, right? But you can see how that little bit of extra gives that just a touch of a shadow layer and a little dimension to your border strip. And I love that. I love the way that looks. Okay. Now, let's get these stuck down. Let's get our base stuck down, and then we are going to have some fun doing some DIY embellishments, because as you probably know, there's really no birthday elements in the this summer collection. It's pretty much just, you know, summer stuff. But don't you think, like, this is just happy paper, isn't it? It's just happy paper. And I love it. Looks to me. So we're just making our own birthday. Going rogue. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little adhesive to these photos here. And then this one, I'm going to add here, but remember, I'm going to put the others in a peekaboo pocket. And this is, so this will flip up, and then my journaling will be in there. So that'll go on top. All right. Now I have my other two photos. And I am going to now add some repo to the border strip that we just punched. Okay, and then, okay, so I'm going to move that up just a little bit, just kind of placing that in there and then in here. So have you guys used this sketch? I'm kind of curious. Again, it's from the February virtual crop, and super, super easy, right? Just one of those go-to, the 7-5 split, right? The 7-5 split. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is going the right direction. And I think now that I'm looking, I may want to scooch these over just a smidge, because I forgot to put my Border Maker cartridge in there, or strip in there first. So let me make sure this is where I want it to be, right along that edge. I want that one present to be right there. Okay. Oh, you moved. You moved. You have to go over like that. Okay. So I'm just looking at this little present and lining that right up against the dotted paper. Okay. And then now I can kind of put these back just in between that space. Okay, and right in here. Okay, so we've got this side pretty much ready, and then let's go ahead and adhere down this side. This way, and then the blue. And I believe also, speaking of the virtual crop, the finished album challenge is going on. Oh, and they did re-release the digital artwork. So if you are a digital kit fan, this is the time. If you want to do your customized 8x8 albums, if you want to make custom 12x12 custom albums, this is all the time to do it. Now is the time, as they've opened it up. And I believe there's even a challenge going on in the virtual crop group for creating digital pages, like you can win stuff. Okay. I see I need to do some tucking. So I've got to open that back up. Probably should have put this blue down first. There we go. So that's right along the edge. And then we've got the gingham. And then I still have room for this fun picture of the birthday girl. The birthday girl. I think I like that picture in the center. All the babies. All the grandkids. So fun. Yep, I like it. Okay, so let me add some adhesive to these guys. And then I am going to show you some fun new things for turning this into a birthday layout. Let's see. I may have to that actually looks okay. I think I may have to move that middle one up just a smidge. And I don't mind that these two are closer together because I like seeing the dots on the top and the bottom. So kind of squeezing this together works just fine for me. All right. So now what we're going to do is have a little fun also with some more layers. Now, there were 2 cards in the summertime collection that caught my eye to add a little bit of interest. So we've got the red gingham over here. And so I thought, ooh, let's see if we can use that to add a little red gingham over there. And then actually now that I'm looking at it, maybe we will do a little matte with the yellow over here. So I'm going to bring that touch of yellow over on this side. And I think I still may want to do a white background just to separate that. So one of the things I want to remember, we were talking about this at the monthly meetup, is that grab that tag maker whenever you need to add a little fun color. All you need to do is grab one of the tag maker's punches and then create your own little focus of interest. So this is a 2.5 inch base. You can have it 2.5, you can have it 2, you can even do 1. I'm going to keep this at 2.5. So I'm going to take my matte card and just cut this at 2.5 and then pop it in here and make sure it's all the way at the top and then punch. And isn't that just the cutest tag? I love that. Love it. Okay, so it's just as easy as remembering our tools to make this fun layer. So according to the sketch, I believe the embellishment clusters were here, but to me, I don't want to cover up too much of that. And I like having, a little bit of tucking going on. So I think what I'm going to do is do a little tucking with this red behind here. So I don't need the whole tag as now I'm seeing, because I'm going to just tuck it behind the photos. So I'm just going to cut this down to 2 inches and then I can save this other piece, do something else fun with that. But that is just a fun little layer for there. Okay. So now we've kind of got our base in place, and what I want to share is some new things that I've been working on for the shop and for, kind of creating some really good standard elements that can be added to birthday pages. So this is the first one. It says Make a Wish, and that is done in silver and it has a backing. And the reason I chose silver is because it goes with everything, right? So I can take that and I'm just going to add some repo on the back of this. I'm going to take my little repo. It's a little easier to work on these delicate letters. Okay. And then just adding, so I have the repo on the back of that. You could also use your precision tip glue pen. And then I'm just going to center that on the background. Isn't that pretty? I love how it just catches the light and shines. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to go ahead, turn it over and add even a little more repo. And then I'm going to just kind of place it about right here. And I know I still have to come back and finish this photo, but I want to do a little more to the layout before I do that. So what do you guys think so far? Huh? Yes. Oh, Debbie's working on her digital pages. Debbie, you better put some layouts in the crop group because they need to see what you can do, my friend. Yes, absolutely. Okay, now, are you guys ready for some fun? What I want to share, I'm going to kind of scooch this out, is that I have also created some white DIY embellishments. And let me see. So let me hold on a second. So there's some new things. There's Happy Easter that's in the shop. And the Easter eggs in here, what I'm going to share with you, you can do the same thing for the Easter eggs. There's also Woohoo, which is a fun new one. And then there is, where'd it go? The one I'm going to be using. Oh, I guess I don't have the, I think I just called them DIY, oh here, embellishments. But also with the Make-A-Wish, you will see some little white candles. And the reason these are not cut out of colored paper is because of what we're going to do next. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of where we're headed. And the fun part, once again, for this is you can make your own embellishments that go perfectly with your pages. Okay, so what I've done is take these white, kind of what I call blanks, blank die cuts, and I used some of the shimmer. I mean, if you have been wondering, like, when am I going to use my shimmer pins? This is the perfect time. Shimmer pins galore. And also, it is time to grab your color box of pens. So if you've been also, you know, like, I love pens. I have to have all the colors of the pens. But when do I use them? Not very often, because I usually journal in black, right? Now is the time you're going to have some fun using your pens. So what I would encourage you to do is just get a piece of scratch paper for your workspace. And then we're going to have some fun with our candles. So how I made these balloons, don't they just, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to show you the technique, but they sparkle, they match perfectly, don't they? And they look watercolory almost. I hope you can see that. So it's just so much fun to add a little bit of that. And then there's the little streamer parts, and I just colored these with the silver glitter pen, and they just came out perfectly. So these are the little silver balloon strings that we can add up in there. And then there's also streamers. So the Make-A-Wish comes with the candles, and then the balloons and balloon ties and the streamers come together in a set. So those come like that, just white and blank. Okay, so to get started, what you're going to want to do is, sometimes these die cuts come with some of the pieces still in there. So you want to poke those out, okay, so that you have your little open areas all open. So these I'm just going to open here. Just let those fall out. Okay. And now what we're going to do is use the dot tip pens. Okay, so I like this yellow dot tip pen, and I'm going to use the dot point on here. And I'm going to use the blue, this blue dot tip pen, is what comes out. Like, it is so perfect, a really nice match for this blue paper in here. But think of the possibilities. If you have a birthday and people were wearing Kelly green, you could use green, or lime green, you could use the lime green. You could make whatever color matches whatever papers you're drawn to for your birthday. There's also the red, and so the sky's the limit on what you can do to create your own embellishments. Look at this pink. Wouldn't that be beautiful for adding your touch? So what I'm going to do is, actually, I think I'm going to start with the yellow. We're going to do the flames in the yellow. So I'm just taking my dot tip pen and going over the flames. Okay. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do. You can just straight color that and leave it, and that's all there is to it. Or you can take like either your white or your clear, and before it dries all the way, you can add some bling and sparkle, but it also kind of gives a little watercolor effect. So I just added that, and it's going to be really hard to see on camera, but just take my word for it. And the cool thing about this is that you can layer and layer, like layer, let it dry, and then layer again if you wish. So on this one, I think what I'm going to do is make this stripe candle blue. Okay. And I don't have, or the blue that I have that's sparkly is kind of a bright blue. And I really want this blue to go with the paper. So I'm using this dot tip pen, and you can already just see it has such a beautiful watercolor feel to it, just from kind of just using that dot tip on the candle. See that? And if you have die cuts at home, try this. It's just so much fun to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add a little bit of sparkle, and then we're going to let that just set off to the side and dry. Now, so that's one technique, using the dot tip with some of the glitter on top. The other thing we can do is, I was playing around with these colors, and I realized that the red, now this red comes with the Daily December Days kit, or the December Days kit that Creative Memories put out. You can get the red pen in that kit, and the kit is fabulous. It has some great Christmas things in it, but this red is actually so perfect for this summer collection. It's kind of that orangey red that you see in the plaid, and that is what I colored this balloon with. And can you see how it just looks watercolory? It's so pretty. So we're going to do this candle the same way. So I'm just taking that brush and adding the color. So you could go with the straight glitter pen. Now, if you don't have the shimmer pens, I do have some still in my shop, and I can also leave a link, an Amazon link, on where you can get similar pens also. So don't you're like, oh no, I missed it. It's okay. So one thing, again, remember, is that when these dry, you can go back and add a layer to it. I want to show you how that layer on the outside just gives you such a neat look. That dimension, it gives that dimension. And so now I'm just going to go back. I added a little more. I'm just going to blend it. This is almost like a blender. And when you get, I should mention, when you get color on the end, just wipe it on your scratch paper until it's clear again. So like right here, there's a touch of blue, and then just keep going until it's clear. So now look at these candles. Aren't they just fabulous? I'm going to show you up close. Aren't those fun? It's just that easy to make your custom colored embellishments. So now we can just add, I forgot, I think I wanted to put these candles over here with Make-A-Wish. Maybe do some balloons. We'll have to see if those will fit. Or we can put some balloons over here. So we'll have to kind of see. We might end up putting this back over here, huh? And see if we can fit those balloons in, because these are just so much fun. Okay, so that is, I think maybe I'll put the blue one next to the red plaid. Maybe I'll just do it on top there. Actually, that looks kind of cute. And then some streamers down. So the good thing is just play with it first. Oh, you can't see that because I have too many things on my desk. So remember, you know, the sky's the limit with all your colors now. Get your colors out, and now we're going to have some fun using those colors. And they do recommend to store your shimmer pens like this in, you know, one of the upright holders. Okay. There we go. Now you can see. Isn't that fun? Yes, I know, right, Sandy? So new ways to get those shimmer pens out and use them. So what I want to share is, like, here is a little streamer that I already colored, and this has dried. So you can kind of see the color on that right now. Now let's go back in, and again, just adding this to the edge. I'm just going back around it. Look at the beautiful dimension this gives. So, you know, this can be like, play with it, have some fun, don't rush yourself, you know, let it dry, and then you can come back and, you know, add some more depth and texture. Now look at that streamer. Doesn't that look so watercolory and pretty? See the difference? So let it dry, come back, add your layers. It's really just that easy. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this little red balloon over here. Little red balloon. I don't know. Maybe, does it go down here somewhere? Maybe that would be kind of fun. Maybe the red one comes like that, and those two go over there. And I could always add more candles too, but I like the way, just the sweetness of those two little candles there. And maybe we'll do some streamers. So I can't remember. Oh yeah. Now, oh, I wanted to share too. So like I said, I was playing around with this. There's a very different look when you use pen. So here's this one right here is pen, which is still really pretty. It's more vibrant. And this is shimmer pen. And then the same over here, this yellow one is just straight pen, but you could soften that by putting the glitter on it. And then this is, look at, if you had a purple birthday, oh my goodness, how fun, right? The purple birthday. And then here's, I was just kind of having some fun. Here's the purple balloon with the purple shimmer pen. So that's this one. And you can kind of see, hopefully, I don't know, but it does shimmer in the light. So a lot of different ways to use your pens, especially if you've just got, you know, some really fun blanks is what I like to call them. Like just have fun. Look at how watercolory that one looks. And that's just, you know, kind of, again, pen, shimmer, just playing with that and having some fun. Okay, so let's get a couple more streamers. And since these are over here on the blue, like putting the blue on there, that would not really stand out. So I think what I need is a yellow streamer. I think what I'll try, actually, let me see if I can try using this yellow that's already dried. And now let's add some shimmer to it. Okay. And just soften it. And you can even see, hopefully, when you add the shimmer, even to this dry yellow, it's lightening, lightening, you know the word I'm trying to get, making it lighter in some areas, right? Now, another technique I should say is one more, as far as, you know, we're just talking all things coloring and just having fun with this. You can also get, if you're familiar with the watercolor, so you can see there's that yellow. If you're familiar with the watercolor fillable pens, I want to share that with you. Watercolor brush. So this is kind of in my little stash. I have different brushes, and you can also use these for adding a little water to your markers. And then, I don't know if any of these actually have water in it right now. Maybe this one? That one has water. And that can also give you that watercolor look. So this is just a brush, and you just put water in here, and you can use it to blend. Okay. So that is also really good if you have a strong color. Let's say we're going to do this strong blue, and you're going to want to use the, you know, the end with the widest end. Oops, I forgot to take that little piece out. Okay, let's see if this is going to blend for me the way I hope it does. Okay, so here's like a beautiful dark blue, and now we're just going to add, whoops, some water to it. Just have fun. It's just like an experimenting process, right? I added a little too much water, probably squeezed it a little too much there. But the fun thing about watercolors is that, you know, you let it dry. You can let it dry, and then you can always go back and add a little more if you want a richer color, and just have some fun. Okay, so I'm going to come back in and add a little bit of blue in here, see if I can get that a little darker. If not, I'll let that dry and then come back in. But you can see, it's just fun. Just fun. Do something a little different. It's so relaxing, I have to say, too. It's just so relaxing to take a minute and color. It's kind of, you know, that whole coloring book thing, but we get to do it for our scrapbook pages, which is so much more fun. All right. Let's see. Do I have, oh, here's that red one that I have that's already dry. So I may kind of see if I'm going to tuck that in there. I may end up using the blue. We'll see. The light blue. Okay. So now that we've had some fun coloring and experimenting, we can finish putting the finishing touches on the page and get things stuck down. And I also just want to mention that I love adding little bits of sentiments, and this birthday, I think birthday 2, I love birthday 1. Birthday 2 is really fun also. And I have this cake that to me just kind of seemed to work well with this layout. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trim around this cake and see if this might be something fun to add in here as well. And look at that. Oh, that's fun. We can add that little cake there. And then there's some really appropriate words on here that I thought would just kind of work for my photos. One is this one that says, "These are my people." I love that. And I bet you can pick out which photo that's going to go with, right? These are my people. So I'll have to find some little sentiment strips to go there. And then there's one here that says "Best Day Ever," which I also thought was really fun. And these have some nice swoopies on them, which to me just make it a little more festive. So this one says "Best Day Ever." And maybe I'll do that with Sue over here. So those were a few that I had kind of picked out, but there's a lot of other good ones. There's this one that says "Cake Time," which that would be cute to put up here too. But let's stick with that. And then also, let me grab my sentiments strips and see if I can find some good layers for these. This one's kind of cute with the scallops on it, if that fits. That looks like it'll fit perfectly there. And "These are my people" can go over here. Love these little boxes from Stampin' Storage. They are going to have a Mother's Day sale. So look for a post on my Facebook page. I'll try to get an email out also. 15% off, and I think it's free shipping. And a special gift if you spend $75. I think it's free shipping. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But these are the little tailored expression boxes. They are so perfect, just the perfect size. And if you like the storage container, I have a blog post on how I put that all together for all my little bits and bobs that I have. Okay, now scallop circles. I feel like I need a scallop circle. Little scallop circle for the cake over there. I need to restock my scallop circles because I just don't have enough. I don't have enough. There we go. I think that's cute. So now I've got that layer of white in there, that separation, kind of popping that. And we can also toy with the idea of just adding another circle over here with our tag. Do we like it? Maybe as kind of a home for those balloons. might work out. I'll leave it there until I get up there and start sticking things down and see. But I think that's good. And again, inside here, I will do my journaling. All right. Let me pop into the chat before, while I kind of start sticking things down, putting these last touches, making sure I didn't miss. I know, what girl? Sam, I'm totally with you. What girl does not love to color? Yeah, so I agree. And yeah, gussy up our pages. I love it, Sam. Yes, let's gussy them up. That is exactly what I love to do. So let's see. Any question? Let me put a Q in here and see if there's any questions. Sue, can you just get the storage boxes? I think you can, Sue. They might be from the Tailored Expressions side. And I don't know if you can just get them on the Stampin' Storage site. Stampin' Storage bought Tailored Expressions, but they are two separate websites. And so just check it out, either one, Tailored Expressions or Stampin' Storage. So there's my title on here. These are my people. And I think I do like the scallop circle over here, and it is kind of a repeating element. So I'm going to tuck that in. And it gives that bit of a home for my balloons. And then I still just love that tag. In fact, wouldn't that be cute? I could get a little piece of silver twine to go with all the silver and just tie a little bow on that. That would be so fun. All right, let's get some adhesive on these balloons. And that one can go there. And then, oops, I'm going to need my mat back to get the adhesive on these little guys. And we're going to put this one right here and this one with the yellow. So fun. And would you even know this was a birthday collection now, right? Just so much fun. Okay, so this one, I'm just gonna there's nothing really exciting going on in this corner, so I am going to layer that a little bit on the photo, and I think that's just fine. And have this one coming down. You can still see the presents. There's plenty of the Border Maker to catch your eye. And I'm just going to tack this down here. And then let's do, this one is Best Day Ever. I'm just going to pop it on this other strip. Is that Clemmy coming back? Clemmy had her dinner. Hi, sweet girl. Thanks, honey. Hi, dear. We had a lot of fun scrapping some Clementine pictures in the monthly meetup. Oh, now I need to finish this. Let me get just a little tiny white border on this picture. I just feel like I need that. Just a little pop of white around it, since I did not do a very good job cutting I will admit that. Let me go ahead and trim. Sorry, I'm a little off screen, but I'm running out of room. As you all probably know, it's just so hard to keep your room. Okay. So we have just that little white edge. I like that. And then I'm going to use that yellow. So this is another kind of a modification, and I'm breaking up this blue by adding this yellow, but I like that because I have the yellow over here. So just another difference. Okay, thanks, hon. All right, let's tuck this in. And I am going to give about an inch on the bottom there. And now I can just come back in and work with my title and these other little embellishments. So where I'm going to add these fun little bits. I'm going to take that cake. Oh, and now I can put, I forgot I did that so that I could add in Best Day Ever right here. Now I'm going to add the cake to my scallop circle. And just kind of center that on there. I always like just burnishing it a little bit with my multi-purpose tool. And so we've got these fun candles, and we've got it. So I'm not sure if I want the cake. Oh, I think I like that better. Maybe the cake here. And then the Make-A-Wish. I don't want to cover up too much of my cousin there. There we go. I've got some room. Okay, and now let me get my candles. I think I'm going to tuck my candles first. I'm just going to put a little adhesive on those. Going to cross them like that and then just do a little tucking. If I can. Here we go. You stay. There we go. Right, no, you got to go down a little bit right there. And then this one right here. The blue. Okay. And now, what am I going to do with these fun? I think I'll tuck it behind and do the streamers over here. Like that. And then this yellow one. Ooh, I need some more shine on the yellow. Let me get my glitter pen. Just so it's shimmery like the red one. And there we go. Not quite sure where to put you. Maybe back there. I think I do like that. It's just kind of a fun layer for the Make-A-Wish. And what did I do with that blue one? Oh, here it is. Okay, this one needs some more shimmer also. Now that it's dried, we added that layer of color, and now I'm just going to go back in and add some shimmer to it. And I know it's really hard to see on camera, but in person, you can tell. You can tell. So I think I'm going to put that just kind of coming out from all these little corners. So just doing some layering and tucking, but keeping the title kind of the focus of attention here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll move this blue one over here. Do I like that better? Kind of coming down. Maybe something like that. Okay. And got the cake. Maybe the cake goes on top and tucked in. Okay. It's always fun to play with the different layers. Oh, and you know what I didn't do? I think what's happening, I need a little dimension. I think I need dimension on, do I need dimension on this? So I think that will help with my layers. I've already got I'm going to just add a little bit right here because I've got so many different things I'm tucking in. I need to just give that a little bit of room. There we go. All right, I'm fussing. Sometimes we just fuss until we're done fussing, and then we got to stop fussing. Okay, there we go. So we have our title, we have the layout, the sketch. What I ended up changing for my photos was adding a strip of colored paper here, and then taking that inch off the top and the bottom just to give a little more breathing room. And there you have it. We're finished. That was fast, right? Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to, oops, I closed. Hold on. Ah, where'd my comments go? I didn't mean show window. Where are the comments? Oh, here we go. Comments. Now you're back. I just meant to take the cue off, and let's see if there's any other questions. Okay. And Kristen, happy birthday. Okay, so now you have some fun ideas on what you can do for your birthday to make your photos shine. There's that, and just some fun little techniques for coloring, relaxing, playing with your pens. I mean, who doesn't love to do that, right? And changing, giving you some ideas now, hopefully, that if you like a paper in a collection, and let me just mention, when I got the Craft Happy paper, my eye immediately went to this stripy paper right here, and I thought that could be a birthday paper, right? You can just take a look. If there's a color that you like or a paper that you like, you know, look at that. Wouldn't that be just a beautiful birthday color? And that would work really well with the red that we did, right? The red shimmer pen. and even that nice texture. But look at this beautiful stripe. That to me, you know, you don't have to use it for craft happy. You could use this for a fun birthday. And look at the reverse side. I love it. And now just learning how to do some DIY embellishments. Take some of your favorite pieces. You don't have to even look at the stickers. You don't even have to look at the embellishments, and just go with your border punches and some just simple titles and birthday, and you could just have so much fun with all these different new collections that are coming out. So don't get stuck. That's what I'm saying. All right, friends. Well, that is our layout for tonight. Again, if you'd like to see the finished photos of this, it'll be up on my blog tomorrow with some more info about the products that I used and just some more different things for you to be able to enjoy. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I hope we will see you again soon. Next Saturday is Pop Crop, and after Pop Crop, 2 more weeks, we have Friday night scrapping again. So here's what I'd like you to do. If you enjoyed this layout and this kind of technique, leave a comment for me in the chat or in the comments section if you're watching this on replay, and say, yeah, Lauren, you know, that was really fun. You just, you know, we looked at a sketch, saw how we could make that our own, and, you know, got a couple pages done, give you some ideas. So if you like that, let me know. And I will see you again for Friday Night Scrapbooking in 2 weeks and Pop Crop next Saturday. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. See you later.